Hello, trail travelers. It's Carrie and Katarina, and we're still in the Sonoran Desert here. This is Arizona, and we are getting ready to do a new Jeep Badge of Honor trail called Backway to Crown King. Now, I've got some interesting stories to tell you about Crown King later on in this video, so don't turn away until you hear that story. But here's the interesting thing about what we're doing today. This is a 30-mile trail, and it is considered a mid-moderate to high-moderate trail. Some people say it can take up to 15 hours to complete. Others say it can take 3 hours. Well, it's already almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're just getting started. So, I guess if a Dodge Challenger can do it, maybe we can have some pretty good luck today. So we're gonna give it our best to get this all done before it gets dark. So stay right there. We'll be right back. Okay, we are starting off our Badge of Honor run here on the Backway to Crown King. As I said, this is about 30 miles. It is supposed to be a pretty fun road. It says it's very popular, and it is a new Badge of Honor trail. So I checked in with my Jeep Badge of Honor app at the trailhead. And I'll make sure we get this badge when we're done with it. Now, the first 10 miles-ish of this are supposed to be like this, right? So we should be able to just make up some time, get a little ahead of the curve here by going through here. We're seeing all kinds of passenger cars, that Dodge Challenger. We saw a Kia, we saw a couple other things go whipping out of here. So I'm sure we're gonna get in pretty good, at least that first 10 miles. So that's a third of the way through. I believe this is the very back end of Lake Pleasant right here. At the 2.8 mile mark, we're gonna hang a right here on Cow Creek. It says there's a staging area over here. So I guess if you were bringing in trailers or something, this might be a good area over here somewhere. Look at these swirls here. Absolutely beautiful. Right on the trail. Such amazingly good condition. Just awesome. Not something we get to see every day being in Colorado. So it's... yeah, they've got a bunch of them have little blooms on top. Okay, right here, there's actually a street sign. Off to the right is Columbia Trail. Again, I don't have any information on that one, but it's right there. Okay, we're coming up on another intersection here. Champy Road off to the left. Do keep in mind there are a lot, well, most of this I think is private property. And we are at the 10-mile mark. And it says Crown King, no services for the next 20 miles. So we are a third of the way into the trail. The road has started to get a little rougher, and I'm kind of struggling with keeping a speed of at least 15 miles an hour right now. I get some chances to speed up just a little bit, but I'm definitely going slower than I was earlier on the road. But we're still trying to get some miles under our belt before we get to, what is it, about the 15-mile mark? After the 15-mile mark, that's when things are supposed to slow down real bad. Okay, see this sign here, no dust, drive slow. Please heed that. We are going into a residential area and we want to be as respectful of people as we can. There's going to be a cattle guard here and we're just going to stay to the left. Oh, redneck with a riffle.
It's supposed to scare you.
Interesting. But we are just gonna cruise through here without stirring up any dust because people do live here. So here we are at mile 14.5. This is waypoint 6, and we have a rock here telling us to go right to Crown King. And all of a sudden, wow, the road is different right there at the turn. A little rougher here, more trail-like than road-like. But we are almost halfway through right now. Actually, I guess we would be a little over halfway through, but not in terms of time, only in terms of mileage right now. So we have a handful of obstacles coming up in front of us that we're gonna have to get through, and we'll see how things go. I'm getting kind of excited knowing there's some stuff coming up. But the road definitely got a whole lot worse and the speed is going way, way down. At the 15.1 mile mark is an optional harder line to the right. And since we're here to have some fun, we're gonna try whatever harder line we can find. It's got a nice little dip to it. And we'll just see if we can just crawl right up it. Not bad. Pretty easy little extra obstacle there. Okay, we've got another optional line here at the 15.5 mile mark. And I'm gonna bring up the off-road pages here. Now, on these optional lines, the left side looks a little easier, right side looks a little harder. So we're gonna try going up this right-hand side here. And we'll see what kind of angles we get to. So that's 18, 19 degree pitch. Pretty flat right now. And oh, we're just crawling right through this. Piece of cake. We only hit about an 8-degree roll. And right on through it. And over on the driver's side here is an old stone chimney. There's apparently no known history about this. Could just be someone who stacked rocks.
Looks like some hippie stacked rocks.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a used chimney. There's no burn marks or anything inside. So it very well could just be somebody thought it was interesting to stack some rocks in the shape of a chimney. This section that we're going through here, which is right after, right around that chimney, has been pretty windy. Now we're going on a fairly steep climb up here, but it's been really sharp, twisty turns versus kind of the long, drawn out roads that we saw earlier on. And looking ahead, we can see more of the same, just a lot of quick turns here and there. Mostly, I guess these would be kind of like switchbacks as we're working our way down into this canyon area. Okay, through that and into yet another windy turn. Ooh, that was a 22-degree roll. That's impressive right there. 22 all the way around that turn. Okay, we got a sharp turn here over some rocks. We're gonna take this nice and slow. Could get a little tippy going down here. Okay, not too bad. Nice and easy, does it? Yep, and we're cruising right over those rocks. And then right in front of us is another optional line to the left. The line is steep, going with decent sized ruts. A mistake on this line could be catastrophic. It should only be attempted by skilled drivers with properly equipped vehicles. Ooh. So I chose to take it straight down the middle. Fun, fun. At 17.1 miles, there's another optional line to the right. Nothing, you know, too crazy here, but we're gonna go ahead and try and take the harder lines just to add to our fun today. But I'm driving right through them. And as soon as we come out of that last obstacle, we have another optional line here over on the left. This one is kind of fun. It's kind of narrow through here. But what has really surprised me today is how much traction we've actually had. And for those of you who are going to ask, I am on 38-inch Milestar Patagonia MTs, and we're aired down today to 12 PSI, and they are hooking up nice. So right now, everything feels really nice, and we're just going to continue working our way up. 16-degree pitch, about a 12-degree roll. And then we're going to try going on this upper section here and see how that goes. Really not much roll at all. I don't think I've hit double digits other than for maybe a split second there. As long as I don't fall off the driver's side, things are going to go pretty good. And we get to the top and we'll make a left-hand turn back onto the main road. Not bad. So apparently you have to watch for cows on the road. We've seen some cows in some surprising places today. Didn't expect them to see them way back here in the boonies. Well, I guess we got remnants of a barn of some kind here. Water trough and stuff. Now we're coming up here on another optional obstacle over on our right. This one looks to be fairly challenging. It's pretty steep and has a very big vertical climb to it. So I'm not going to be surprised if I spin a little tires here, but we're just going to try giving it a go here in four-wheel drive. And man, we're climbing right up it. No problem at all. That was fun. So we're going to take another optional line here on the right, and we'll see how this goes. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying this trail. It's been a lot of fun. These optional side trails have really been what's made it entertaining. You could just blaze through this and just stay on the road, but if you want to take the time for the optional obstacles, you're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, this is a pretty long, sketchy looking side obstacle here, and I think, again, I'm probably just going to be able to crawl right up it. Had a 15-degree right roll there. 16, 23, but we came right up. Okay, we're gonna keep working our way up this side obstacle here. Things are a little sketchy right here because now my nose is up in the air and I can't see anything. I told Katerina what I wanted to do, so she's spotting me up there. I'm coming up over a big rock. So far, so good. Yeah. That was a pretty good line right there. Now here, I'm not so sure. I think I'm going to have to stay to the right. I don't know if I have enough room over there. Yeah, I just don't think I can make it over on the driver's side there. It's just so steep. I'd probably turtle out. So I'm going to stay on the right-hand side, and I need to probably go up on this rock here a little bit so that I don't scrape on the driver's side too much. And we are up and over again. Just going to try and maintain a little momentum. Nice. Just nice, easy crawl. Oh, that was fun. Okay, we've got another big obstacle here. We're gonna climb up this guy. We'll see how this goes. And we start turning off to the passenger side. right, we're starting up the next section here. And again, I'm not trying to get speed. I just want to maintain nice and smooth. I don't want to stop. I just want momentum to help carry it up. We're doing great so far. Tons of traction today. And just not having any issues yet going through these obstacles. Okay, one more section here. And we're just going to basically kind of crawl this V-notch. We're not getting tippy at all. Not yet, anyway. Just doing a pretty good job of keeping her flat and crawling up these rocks. The Jeep's doing great. The tires are doing great. We're just having a good time. This is a lot of fun. This is definitely way more fun than I expected on this Backway to Crown King. This has been one optional obstacle after another. Really enjoyable. We have a ways to go before we get to another one, but as fun as this trail has been, the scenery has been incredible. You can see for miles and miles and miles. There's even spots like pretty far into the trail that you can look back and see the edge of Lake Pleasant. So not only does this rate high on technical level, but this is a top epic scenery trail as well. As we continue our way through the trail, we get to the 22.2 mile mark. And this is an area known as Burro John. And Burro John was a guy back in like the 1800s. There was a few different characters from back then. This area has a rich history with, what's the name of that fort? Fort Misery, right? Fort Misery. And we actually tried to find that, and we couldn't find even the remains of it. But it's supposed to be there. It's on the waypoint for trails off-road. As we go down at about 0.2 of a mile later, you come along this private mine area. Now, as long as you stay on the trail, you're fine. Just don't get out and go looking around this stuff, because this is somebody's private property and it is a working mine. But at this point, we're running right alongside the creek, which is pretty cool, you know, but seeing all this equipment is kind of neat. It's not like old antiquated stuff. It's currently operating mining equipment. So stay off of it, take some pictures, you'll get some good stuff out of that. Along the mine, the trail actually turns right into the old riverbed. Now, what does an old riverbed mean for you? It means rocks, and lots of rocks. It becomes a very, very rough going through this section. And as we get past kind of the mining section, it becomes even rockier as we kind of work our way up and out of the riverbed. Yeah, there's definitely some big rocks through here. You're just gonna have to take it slow and work your way through it. Now, if you notice up ahead, we've got ourselves a little roadblock. We've got some cows, and cows are quite prevalent in this area, and we have some mama moos, a daddy moo, and some baby moos right in front of us here. So what we're gonna do is just kind of creep up on them and see if they'll move out of our way. Sometimes these cows will just sit and you have to wait for them to move, but hopefully we can get them going. Now, right around the corner is another optional obstacle. Katarina's been driving for quite a while, and so she's gonna take the Jeep up this obstacle. It looks like it's gonna be a little tippy right there. Not too bad, but it's, you can see it's pretty deep ruts as she works her way up this obstacle. Yeah, these obstacles have been a lot of fun. We've really, really been enjoying taking as many of them as we possibly can. Now at the 24.5 mile mark, look off to the passenger side, and you'll see an old car sitting down there as a reminder that things on the trail can sometimes go bad very quickly. As we've kind of come down near the, I guess, the river edge, for lack of a... No more cactus, but there's a lot more bushes. So that means it's been a little more narrow.
Now it's getting dark. Time for creepy stories.
So yes, I promised you a story at the beginning, and a story is what I'm going to tell you. This is the story of the Redstone Cult of Crown King. Now I'll put that on the screen there. I don't really want to give you the link. If you want to, you are free to Google this yourself, but consider this one of those things that maybe you don't want to Google. There's other things out there which will remain nameless, but the Redstone Cult of Crown King is a very dark story. Now, all of this takes place from about the 60s to the 80s outside of Crown King. And this is where a cult leader would entice young men and women to join the cult by offering them free sex and drugs, which in the 60s and 70s didn't seem like a bad deal. The problem is, this cult was just a wee bit weird. And instead of doing things like singing in airports, they would slice each other up and transfer the skin from one body to another. Yes, it is a very dark tale. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details or some of the stories regarding this. It is up to you, my dear viewers. If you want to read this story for yourself, feel free to Google the Redstone Cult of Crown King. And right, this is not necessarily a good bedtime tale. But if you have it with you and you're camping outside of Crown King and other people do not know the story, this would be a good time to tell it.
You're so cruel.
So there is a very, very dark story around this. Now, the last of this ended with a very strange operation going on near the cult headquarters, which resulted in a weird radar blip, oddly enough, and it got stronger and stronger. Now, this cult was trying to create a portal to another dimension. Maybe they succeeded. And this radar blip was so strong that it was interfering with aircraft. And in fact, it was so strong that the USSR complained about it to the US government. And on a training flight of a jet aircraft flying over, just happened to be flying almost directly over the cult headquarters, there was a mishap, and somehow the live bombs that they had on board the aircraft somehow released themselves, and the blip was no more. Shortly after that, the headquarters was raided by the government. The cult leader was arrested and died very soon afterwards, and what was left of the cult seemed to vanish into the hills, never to be heard from again. So there's the story, a brief synopsis of the story of the Redstone cult of Crown King. Be sure and look it up for yourself if you want even more of the gory, and believe me, there are some gory details. But hey, thanks for listening.
You're going to be somebody's demon?
Now, the way I found out about this was at a recent Jeeps and Java event, and people were talking about things they were doing, and someone asked us what our next adventure was. And I said, well, we're going to Arizona for Overland Expo, and we're gonna hit some trails and do a few things. And one of the guys said, oh yeah, I just did the Backway to Crown King. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that on Monday. And he said, well, make sure you look up the Redstone cult of Crown King before you go, so you know what could possibly still be out there.
Can we turn around?
So there's the story I promised you. I hope you enjoyed it.
I agree to drive back 3 hours.
Now, this Backway to Crown King is considered a rather technical trail. It is also known for its scenery. I mean, this is definitely some gorgeous country through here. Really beautiful mountains, awesome rock formations, just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful place to spend the day driving. Okay, up here it says keep to the right. You could go to the left, but we are going to go to the right. Make this sharp hairpin turn. As we continue up 192, we are at mile 27.1. We're doing pretty good. We're about 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes in. About 3 hours, 20 minutes. 27 miles in. Back to some awesome views from on top here. And we are working our way to the highest point on the trail. And we'll be there shortly. Well, it does look like there's an easy path by going around the left, but what we have over here on the right is a pretty big climb. And I think that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So I'm gonna get Katerina lined up on something here. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, now she's gonna start climbing. There she goes. Climb it. Excellent. Okay, start turning driver. And there we go. Look at that. That's some awesome driving right there. We got another big structure up here on our right, and we'll show you in just a moment. Right here, I'm gonna come through the Jeep, and there's another memorial over on this side. According to Trails Off-Road here, this should be a hairpin left. It does continue straight up the hill there, but I don't know where that goes. We're more in tune with like leaving and getting out of here at a reasonable time. So we're following the map and it says hard left. So we're making a hard left. It is now 7:28. It is sunset on the trail. The sky is absolutely beautiful, shades of color, and we are getting all of our lights turned on so we can have a good view. It is some slow going through this section. It is extremely rough, and that you can't get any speed at all in most of this. But we're still plodding along. It's not totally dark yet. I mean, you can still see around, but we made pretty good time, and we're just gonna keep going. I mean, we don't have much of a choice. We're closer to the end than it would be turning around. Every time we turn around, there's like some big obstacle in front of us. Not big, I mean, you can see that's not real big, but you know, it's just one more thing you have to slow down for. Well, the one good thing about doing shelf roads as it gets darker and darker is you don't see how sketchy they really are. You can still see it? Good thing you're not sketched out by shelf roads. It is now 8 o'clock. We're still going. Got a little ways to go. But man, the skies are amazing. Got these dark reds over there. Oh, can't see now because we just turned away from it. But we're doing the best we can to work our way through this. Good thing we have lots of really nice lights now. Sure helps. We got a squeak. Not quite sure what it is. I've looked at everything, can't figure it out, but there's a very loud squeak every once in a while coming from the driver's front tire, or in that area. Could be that we picked up a little rock or a little pebble that's in the brake dust cover, or who knows what at this point. But every time I stand next to it and walk by it, I can't hear it. And we get back in and we hear it once in a while. So not sure what that is, something to figure out. But this road is just really rough, and it's just slow going. So we still have a ways to go before we're out of this, but not a whole lot further. We're coming up on about the 31-mile mark right now, or 32 miles, I would say. So we're getting very close to the end. And we've reached the highest elevation on the trail, 31.5 miles in, and we're at 6,441 feet. Although in the Jeep, it says 6,552 feet. Slight discrepancy there, but we are around 6,500 feet above sea level, and now it's all downhill. This downhill section is on a north-facing hill. Now this will get super sketchy in bad weather, whether it's raining or snowing. This is not going to get the sunlight that the other sides do. So this can be very, very dangerous in snow and ice, making it really, really slick. So if you're gonna do this, just be mindful of the weather before coming out here. Now we're gonna be descending downhill until we hit the intersection of Senator Highway. And that's another trail that you can take. It's much easier than this. We did that before. You can watch our video on that. Very beautiful area as well. But a much easier trail from Crown King to about Prescott. So if you want to do that, have at it. I'll put a link above so you can find that video. So right now, we're just working our way down into Crown King and Senator Highway. Well, that was the Backway to Crown King, a Jeep Badge of Honor trail from pavement to pavement was 6 hours. Now, from the beginning to Crown King, that was less, but I'm counting pavement to pavement. Right here next to us is I-17. We are ready to get on the freeway and get out of here. So 6 hours for us, pavement to pavement. So keep that in mind. Keep the story of the Redstone cult at hand the next time you are doing this trail. But for us, we are beat. It's been a long day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.